Good morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Stone with Parenting Aces, and I am so excited to have the opportunity to interview the father of the 2020 US Open men's singles. Wolfgang Thiem is joining us now, and I'm just going to bring him online. He's joining us from Austria. Wolfgang, good morning. Well, good night where you are, I guess.
Hello. Yeah, here it's already 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ah, nice. So you're at the end of your Saturday. I'm just starting mine here in California, but we are so thrilled to have you. And first of all, I just want to say congratulations to you, to your wife, Karen, to your entire family and team on Dominic's win last week. What an exciting time.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thanks a lot for your congratulations. I mean, especially the final. It was such a roller coaster with this five set finishing in the tiebreak. So, but also the matches before. I mean, this semi-final against Medvedev, or also all the matches before. It's to watch it from home. It's more difficult to be live in the stadium, because when you're in the stadium, it's you have more things to watch a little bit between the points, so you're not that nervous. But to sit at home in front of the TV is terrible.
Well, I was going to ask you, does it ever get easier watching your child play?
It's always the same. I mean, it doesn't matter if they are 12 years old and they play some national tournament, or when he was playing some Tennis Europe tournaments or some ITF junior tournaments, or when he was starting. If you if you are if it's your son and you see him playing, you are so emotional, and then it doesn't matter if it's a small tournament or it's the final of the US Open. Everything is always tough to watch.
What are some tips that you have for parents to help them stay calm in the moments where the match is getting very tense and they may see their child getting very tense on court, but we know as parents we can't show that to them?
Of course, I mean, it's the most important thing is from the beginning to trust the kid, yeah, to because the kids which play which start who start playing tennis in and playing international tournaments, they have such a big motivation for this sport, so they hate to lose. So sometimes the parents, they're disappointed when they are losing a match. But uh, believe me, the kids, they are fighting. They want to win, because they have such a big heart for this game.
You recently produced a course, a 10-part course for top level tennis, and the first installment of the course is about tennis parents. Why did you feel like it was important to start there?
Uh, because I made so many experiences in the last 25 years. I mean, Dominic was starting when he was 2 or 3 years, because my wife and me, we had a tennis school, and we were on court when Dominic was a little kid, and my parents and the parents of my wife, they were both working. So he had no other chance, and he was playing with the tennis balls or with the footballs the whole time. And if we had some leak, then he was practicing, he was playing with us, and there we saw that he has such endurance. He never got enough from the tennis courts, and this was from the beginning, and it's until today that yeah, he likes this sport.
Well, but the role of the parents obviously is a big one. And can you talk about how your role as, I mean, because you're a teacher too, you know the sport inside and out. How has your role changed as the parent to both Dominic and his younger brother Moritz as they've started to develop and then become successful as professional players?
I was always trying to put some additional coaches, because if the parents, or if mother or father, if they work alone with the kids, not when they are kids or when they are younger, but when they become 14, 15, automatically there are coming a lot of tensions because they come in the puberty. They start to build up their own character. So then it could become tough, But I always was looking that there are also other coaches working with my kids, and of course I was always in charge of the development of the technical process and everything. But for me, it's important that not the parents alone are working with the kids, because at some point the worst thing what can happen if you get, because of the practice, a bad relationship to your kid. This is what I never want. For me, it was always the most important thing to have a good relationship with my kids, because in the end they come home in the evening and after practice or after tournament, and then it's time to talk also about some other things, not only about tennis.
One of the things that you talk about in the course, the top level tennis course, is the importance of balancing tennis with the other aspects of the child's life, school, their social life, their personal development. How did you and Karen work together to help both Dominic and Moritz find that balance?
I mean, one of the most important thing is that when they start playing with, or when they start practicing more seriously with 8, 9, 10 years, they should not play only tennis. It's so important that they also make some other sports. I mean, every sport like football or handball, or like in the States, basketball, ice hockey, these are sports which are so important to to build up this coordination, because coordination is one of the most important parts, because tennis is such a complex sport. There are so many things which are involved in the game, and and your and the kids, they have to learn about their body, and if they start too early with only practicing tennis, and not practicing or not learning about some other sports, this could be a problem in the later years. And therefore it's so important that they make also other sports to build up this coordination. The second thing, of course, is the social life. So at the beginning, with 7, 8, 9 years, they have it in school. They have their social life in school, and then also, they with 13, 14, when they have their friends, you have. It's so important to put not too much pressure, too much tension too early, because I think every kid has a lot of energy, but it's not endless, the energy, and they have to be, when they're 17, 18, and then the career starts, and then they have to be fully motivated. And if they left too much energy in previous years, then it could be a problem. So the parents have to understand that it's of course it's important that they have some results when they're kids, when they are juniors, but they also should have the other, or they should also enjoy a little bit the other parts of the life.
Right, right. And you're talking about results, and that leads me to my next question. You're reading my mind, but I wanted to ask you, how important growing up were rankings for you as a family, for Dominic personally, for Moritz too coming up? How much stress or importance did you place on rankings?
I mean, of course, for every kid which starts playing tennis, wants to become a tennis professional, if you ask them about their goals, they say, I want to become number one in the world. Of course, not everyone can manage it. That's clear. But it's very important that they find a good mix between winning matches but also losing matches. I always Normally we say, if you win 2 matches, you can lose 1 match in the juniors, because then they have the confirmation in their 2 wins that they develop, that they increase their level. But also, if they lose, the coach or the people around, they have something to explain them what they have to work on. because if they only win, it's also not that good. Of course, if they only lose, it's also not that bad. So you have to find a good balance.
And whose role is that? Is that the parents' role? Is that the coach's role? Do you work together?
Uh, Normally, the perfect situation is if you work together. So if the parents have to trust the coach, because if they always want to make the things on their own, it also doesn't work. You have to find a good mix. Okay, so this is the most important thing, that the parents and the coaches, they have to work together, because this is the best situation for the kids.
Dominic has always been known as somebody who is super fit. We've seen videos over the years of how he would run through the forest with trees on his back and things like that. And I'm curious how that kind of came to be, this stress on fitness. And certainly it paid off throughout the 2 weeks of the US Open, but especially in the final, coming back from 2 sets down. Can you talk a little bit about how you, as a parent and as a tennis teacher, incorporate fitness training with your players?
Of course, as I said before, it starts when they're young kids, to build up this coordination, and then later on, I would say when they are 14 or 15, yeah, you can start with this specific fitness practice for tennis players, but not too early. And then, of course, you have to find a good mix between fitness practice, between tennis practice, and also what is very important is this are the physiotherapists there to give the body enough time for the regeneration. So you have to build it up slowly. I mean, first, of course, you have to develop the shots, you have to develop the technique. But when this is finished, then you have to go also in the fitness part. And there, it's also very, very important to find a really experienced fitness coaches, especially in Austria. I mean, it's difficult. Perhaps in the States it's easier, but in Austria we don't have that many fitness specialists for tennis.
Mm. And what about the mental side of the game? I mean, again, just watching the final of the US Open this year, we saw Dominic stay very calm, find a way to come back and win that match after going down 2 sets. How do you start that process, and what is the parent's role in helping a young player develop that mental strength to compete hard and stay in matches even when things aren't going their way?
As I said, very, very important is to give from the young age the kids the feeling that you trust in him, that you trust in your daughter, or that you trust in your son. And this is one of the most important, really, of the most important things, that the kids have the feeling that the parents, the coaches, all the people which are involved in this, they trust the project for 100%. If you change the coaches too many times, if you change the fitness coaches, if you start discussing with your inside the family, this also these are always the most difficult situations. And then the kids, they start losing the self-confidence. You have to build up the self-confidence. Therefore, 2 wins, 1 lose, this is exactly a good calculation to build up slowly the self-confidence. And in the end, we know that the mental part is one of the most important things in tennis. But before, they have to learn so much things about the sport, because to talk when they are 12 or 13, of course the mental part is there, but it's not important. Yeah, because there are so many other things to learn. But on the top level, where Dominic and Sasha were playing the final now, I would say it's 90% or 80% is mentally.
Yeah. When you talked to Dominic after the final, what did y'all talk about?
I mean, it's for every tennis player, it's the biggest goal to win a Grand Slam tournament. You can compare it with football, to win the Champions League, or perhaps for an athlete to win a gold medal on the Olympics. This is the biggest goal I mean, it's even bigger than to become number one, because to become number one is the result of good tournaments. But to win a Grand Slam tournament is, yeah, I know that he was from the first day, he was working for this goal. And so therefore we are all really happy that he finally made it. And I mean, now he's 27 years. I hope that he had a couple of years on the tour and that he can succeed many more times.
You have two sons, as we've mentioned. What are some of the challenges when you have two tennis players in the home, both working toward this big goal of being successful on the professional tour? How do you manage each of them individually and then keep that family harmony together?
We are lucky because Dominic and Moritz, they are best friends. This makes the situation much easier, yeah. Because when Dominic is at home, they spend so much time together, and this is for me one of the nicest things to see, that they have a really good relationship and that they enjoy to spend the time together. And Moritz also sometimes goes with Dominic on the tournaments. Of course, he also tries to push his own career, but as from the view of the parents, the most important thing is to see that they have a good relationship.
Was there something that you and Karen noticed early on in Dominic that gave you kind of that motivation to really get behind his tennis and encourage him to pursue it at the highest level? And is that any different from how you've worked with Moritz and handled his tennis? And it's a long question. Did college ever become part of the conversation in your home?
Not really, because in the States it's different, but
Sure.
in Austria, they want to try to play professional, and in the end, the kids which have the feeling that they don't succeed on the professional tour, then they decide to go to the college. So in Austria, not the best ones go to the college. I mean, in the States, it's you cannot compare it.
Mhm.
We say in Austria, if you go to the college, you more or less you quit your professional dreams, let's say like this. But
Okay.
of course, sometimes, like we saw today, there was playing Dominic Köpfer against
Yeah.
Novak Djokovic. For example, he was on the college, yeah, and
Right.
now he's on his top on the top of his career. So I don't want to say that you have no chance, but the best players from Austria or also from Germany, I think, or from Europe, they don't go to the college because they want to try directly the professional career.
And so, again, getting back to your two boys, did you approach their tennis the same way? They've had kind of different pathways, both playing professionally, but they're at different levels in the sport, let's say.
I mean, tennis-wise, technical-wise, of course, we use the same approach because I mean we saw that it was successful when we how Dominic did it, but they they are different. They have different characters. And for example, Dominic, I mean, honestly, I never saw a kid which was practicing for 2 or 3 hours, and then after practicing, he took his racket, he took a ball, and he was playing against the wall. So at home in our house after practice, he was playing 1, 2, 3 hours against the garage or against the wall from the house. So he never got enough between, I would say, 7 years and 13, 14 years, always after practice or in the morning or whenever he took a racket, he took a ball, and he was playing against the wall. So he was he likes he loves this sport, and
Mhm.
therefore, yeah. And I never honestly I never saw this before, and also not after him. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a different approach. So I mentioned at the beginning that you've recently done a course with Top Level Tennis, and we're coming to the end of our 20 minutes, and I don't want to encroach on your time too much. Can you tell us why you decided it was time to do a course like this, where you go through the different components of developing a young tennis player through all the levels?
You know, tennis gave us so much. I mean, I'm now since more than 20 years in tennis. First, I started coaching on a small club with kids and also with some adults. And then slowly I stepped into the professional tennis. I made so many experiences, and therefore I think it could be a good decision to give all these these things what I learned, yeah, these experiences back, and this top level tennis was for me one of the best solutions to reach many people, because the parents, they have so many questions, and most of the times they don't have the chance to get good information, so to get the right answers of technical questions. So therefore, we tried to look from the side of the parents, and also to work to show a little bit the technical part, how we developed Dominic. And from the first conversation on with top level tennis, I was really happy to work together with them, and hopefully it will be a successful one.
Absolutely. And I mean, what a gift for the tennis parents out there to get to learn from the dad of a Grand Slam champion. So thank you for taking the time to create the course. For our viewers, the link to get to the Top Level Tennis course is up. If you use code ParentingAces10, you'll get a 10% discount off Gold Access, which gives you full access to not only Wolfgang's course, but all the courses on Top Level Tennis. So, Wolfgang, any last words you would like to share with the Parenting Aces audience?
You know, it's tennis is one of the most of the nicest sports ever. You know, and if your kids, if you have the feeling that your kids want to start with playing tennis, or if they want to make it like professional, please support it, and give the kids a chance, because also, I mean, in these days, it's one of the most important things that the kids make some sport.
Absolutely. Wolfgang Thiem, thank you so much for taking time to join us on
Thank
Parenting
you.
Aces. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a
And
nice day.
thanks. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on Parenting Aces.